We're talking about 1/10%. That's all. That's point one. Point two, you need to look at what the president's asking us to cut out. I'll just give you a couple of examples. I didn't make this up. The president is saying we're giving $3 million to Iraq to produce Sesame Street. Maybe we could use that money for something else. The president is saying we're giving $3 million to Zambia for circumcisions and vasectomies. The president's saying we don't need to do that. We've got other priorities. We're giving $500,000 to Rwanda to buy electric buses. The president is saying to us, Congress, we don't need to be spending the money on that. There are more important things. We're spending $67,000 to give insect powder to kids in Madagascar. I don't even know what insect powder is.
Ladies and gentlemen, patriots across this great land, it is time to wake up. What we just witnessed from Senator John Kennedy isn't just a speech. It's a clarion call to every American who's sick and tired of watching our hard-earned tax dollars shipped off for nonsense that doesn't serve you, me, or this nation. Gut check time. That's what Senator Kennedy called it. And he's absolutely right. Because what we're dealing with here, folks, is not just reckless spending. It's a national embarrassment. This isn't budgeting. This is what the senator rightly called spending porn. And I'll tell you something. He wasn't exaggerating. Are you kidding me? $3 million to Iraq to produce Sesame Street? I don't know about you, but I'd rather see that money go to keeping our border secure, to taking care of our veterans, to feeding our kids in our schools, not teaching Elmo how to speak Arabic in Baghdad. And it gets worse. $3 million to Zambia for circumcisions and vasectomies? I mean, what the hell are we doing?
Final thing I want to say, Mr. President, next week, President Trump's going to send us over what's called a Recision bill. What does that mean? Well, we've got a $7 trillion budget, okay? I don't know how much of that $7 trillion is waste, but every fair-minded person would have to agree that there's some money being spent in that $7 trillion that shouldn't be spent. It just shouldn't. It's wasted money. And so President Trump and this Congress made one of its objectives trying to reduce spending. Not spending that we need to reduce, but spending that needs to be reduced. I call it spending porn. And the president has sent us a bill. He's saying to Congress, I want you to reduce spending in the current budget by $9.1 billion. And let me tell you what the spending, what constitutes the spending I want to reduce. Well, first, $9.1 billion out of a $7 trillion budget, we're not talking about a lot of money here. We're talking about 1/10%. That's all. That's point one. Point two, you need to look at what the president's asking us to cut out. I'll just give you a couple of examples. I didn't make this up. The president is saying we're giving $3 million to Iraq to produce Sesame Street. Maybe we could use that money for something else. The president is saying we're giving $3 million to Zambia for circumcisions and vasectomies. The president's saying we don't need to do that. We've got other priorities. We're giving $500,000 to Rwanda to buy electric buses. The president is saying to us, Congress, we don't need to be spending the money on that. There are more important things. We're spending $67,000 to give insect powder to kids in Madagascar. I don't even know what insect powder is, but the president's asking us to cut it out. We're giving $3,600,000 to Haiti for pastry cooking classes, for cyber cafes, for dance focus groups, for male prostitutes. The president's saying, I don't think so. I don't think that the American people support giving their hard-earned money to male prostitutes in Haiti. So he's asking us to cut it out. He's asking us to reduce the budget by $833,000 because some of President Biden's bureaucrats gave a contract to transgender people, sex workers, and their clients in Nepal. The president's saying, I don't want to do that. And he's right. That's enough. You get the idea. That's why I call it spending porn. Triggers your gag reflex. You look at this stuff and you go, what in God's name? Who decided to do this? Well, Congress didn't. The bureaucrats did. It's money we appropriated, but we didn't tell them to go spend money, $833,000, and give to sex workers in Nepal. They just took the money we appropriated and used it for that. And so the president is asking us to do what's called a rescission, to cancel the spending. Now, I have listened. I've been here 8 years, Mr. President. And I've listened to a whole bunch of people talk about the need to reduce spending. But you got to watch what people do, not what they say. Because talk is cheap. And around here, I've learned pretty quickly that reducing spending, it's like going to heaven. I want to go to heaven. I bet you want to go to heaven, Mr. President. I bet our guests in the gallery want to go to heaven. But everybody wants to go to heaven. Raise your hand if you're ready to take the trip today. Most people, you are, sir, and I admire that, but most people want to live a little longer. And that's the way it is with reducing spending around here. I want to reduce spending. I support it, but not just yet, because I've got this project. Well, and I've listened to that. And I've especially listened to it for the past 100 days. Go get them, President Trump. Reduce that spending. We're behind you 1,000%. Well, he has. He has. 0.1% he's asking us to reduce. And I'm not saying senators shouldn't ask questions and make some changes if they need to be made, but here's the bottom line. It is gut check time. It is gut check time. You either believe in reducing spending or you don't. And if you talk the game and say, let's reduce spending, and you vote against this bill, in my opinion, you ought to hide your head in a bag. Because you will be able to cut the hypocrisy with a knife. It's real, real hard, Mr. President, to preach temperance from a bar stool. It's gut check time. We need to pass this bill. I yield the floor, Mr. President.
When American families are struggling to buy groceries, to fill up their tanks, to pay for prescription meds, we're busy snipping and clipping halfway around the world. Senator Kennedy broke it down. President Trump is asking Congress to cut 0.1% of the $7 trillion budget. That's it. And if you can't get on board with that, you shouldn't be in Washington. Period. Let me tell you what this is really about. It's about the deep state bureaucrats spending money you never approved, on programs you never heard of, in countries you didn't even know we were funding. Like giving $833,000 to sex workers in Nepal under some woke gender-inclusive health initiative. Are you kidding me? Senator Kennedy nailed it. The hypocrisy in Congress is thick. These people stand in front of the cameras, waving the flag, talking about balancing the budget, talking about American priorities. And the minute they're asked to actually trim a dime off the bloated fat, they clutch their pearls and scream bloody murder. Because guess what? They're not afraid of cuts. They're afraid their pet projects and pork barrel payoffs will get axed. I love this man. It's hard to preach temperance from a bar stool. That's pure Louisiana fire from Senator Kennedy, and it couldn't be more true. You can't scream fiscal responsibility while voting to send taxpayer dollars to cyber cafes in Haiti or dancing focus groups funded by your paycheck. This isn't about being cheap. This is about being responsible. It's about putting America first, not Zambia, not Haiti, not Nepal, not Iraq. And if that offends anyone in Washington, good. Maybe they'll finally start doing their damn job. Senator Kennedy has consistently stood up against waste, fraud, and fiscal insanity. While others talk the talk, he walks the walk. He's not afraid to name the absurdity, and he's not afraid to call out the cowards hiding behind bureaucratic excuses. Folks, we have a chance, right now, to take a stand. Support this rescission bill. Support the cuts. Support real accountability. Because if Congress can't even agree to cut 0.1% of this bloated disaster of a budget, then we don't need a spending bill. We need a SWAT team to fumigate the Capitol. And to every senator thinking about voting against this bill, do us all a favor. Put a bag over your head. Because the American people are watching, and we're taking names. This is Right View Nation, where we say what the mainstream won't. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, America first, always.